Well, on Friday, the DNC held its annual Women's Leadership Forum. Speakers invoked the rhetoric of a war on women. I want to know how conservative women feel about the theme. Joining me, authors of the new book, What Women Really Want, Anne-Marie Morell, Morgan Brittany, and Dr. Gina Loudon. It's so good to have you guys here.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
You know, your book is a huge hit. People all over America are reading it. I feel very fortunate. I get all three of the authors here all at the same time. So delighted to have you.
Trifecta, yeah.
Let's jump into this whole war on women stuff. Morgan, I'm going to start with you. Do you think the Democrats have kind of worn that out?
You know, it worked, obviously, in 2012, but I do believe it's getting stale. I think the message, actually, I think this year has been a turning point, not just for women, but for men as well, because everything that we've seen going on around the world, I think the attention focused on ISIS, I think the attention focused on the illegal border crossings and how that's affecting parents with schools, children coming into their communities. I think all of these things are much more important to men and women than the old rhetoric that the Democrats were using in 2012. I think people are a lot more interested than just $15 or $30 birth control.
Well, you know, I always thought that was insulting to women to make it as if they didn't care about good jobs, good pay,
right.
Safe places for their children to go to school and learn. And, you know, it seemed like it was a very limiting agenda. And I thought, the women I know are much more complex, much more intelligent, much more thoughtful, and carry about a much larger spectrum of issues. So, Dr. Gina, were you ever offended that the Democrats wanted to sort of limit their understanding of women's issues? Reproductive issues?
I am offended, and I hope that we can take what has been a negative and turn it into a positive. I'm hoping that the GOP and conservatives and even Democrats who've kind of seen that they've gotten what they bargained for with the old feminists and this regime that has sort of picked up that old feminist baggage, and that they can see now what 50 years of bra burning has really gotten us, which is an emasculated culture.
And a big fire, too, you know.
Yeah. But we have a godless culture, and that's a big part of the problem. You know, there needs to be, and I'm hoping that the GOP can incorporate this into their message, a war for women. And it needs to be, because women need husbands, children need fathers, America needs God, and America needs godly leadership.
Powerful message that we're not going to hear from the Democrats, I'm pretty sure. In fact, Anne-Marie, this week, Elizabeth Warren tweeted out a message, and she made this comment. She said, every single Republican in the U.S. Senate voted against equal pay for equal work for women today. Unreal. How unreal is it? I mean, what is the real message? Are Republicans against equal pay? Because I'm a Republican, and I'm not against equal pay as long as it's equal pay for equal work.
I am very glad that Elizabeth Warren is excited and enthusiastic about something. If they want to talk about first world problems, have at it. I think that under their watch, they need to focus on something that's more important and that can actually affect us here.
And let's not forget who was Secretary of State, whose watch this was all under, and now the Democrats are going to nominate her to be their president.
That's very true. That's very true.
And Morgan, you get back to this equal pay. One of the things that I thought very fascinating, we found out that among the women in the Senate and the Democrats in the Senate, they actually pay women less than they pay men, and in the White House, among the staffers,
I know
they're paid less. Women are paid less, so I don't understand how they get away with that.
They get away with it because they have the media on their side. They can put this mantra out there. They can speak it anytime they want to speak it. I'm with you. You know, you look at it, and they're picking on issues that they think are going to divide this country. That's what they do. Women, I think all women have common ground. They want to find common ground, and I believe that they have it. But the politicians want to divide us in such a way for their political gain, and I think that's all they're really wanting to do. Because we as women, even my friends who are Democrats, we all have common ground that we want. We are all looking to help our families, save this country, and do the right thing. We all do, so we all want that.
And if you ask women on either side of the fence, and we try to do this, we encourage them in our book, What Women Really Want. We're told we have to say that a lot. What women really want, our book. What we encourage them to do is is if someone talks about birth control or something like that, go back and say, would you be okay with the IRS targeting your family for no reason? Would you be okay with your grandfather not getting treated at the VA or having to be put on a list? Would you be okay if your family member was killed in Benghazi and no one is doing anything or holding anyone accountable for that?
That's right.
Stay with us, because when we come back, we want to continue with our authors. This is a phenomenal book, and it's a just runaway bestseller for good reason. And by the way, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I know it says what women want. I would recommend men ought to read it as well as women. Yes! It's not just a book for women. In fact, it may be a better book for men. Well, the Democrats don't seem to know very much about what women want, and what they know, even less about the history of this country. Sometimes they don't know about the role that God played in our nation's history. The Learn Our History DVD series is an animated series about some young time travelers who learn about America's exceptional past. You can get a look at God's role in history with a free DVD. You can go to freegoddvd.com for all the details. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says they need to get their house in order, but he doesn't really know how just yet. Sounds like the Obama administration. I'm going to ask our panel of ladies what the NFL should be doing, and that's next, so stay with us.